I guess we're back. Oh. Why did it have to end when I was in the middle of doing the video update? What do I do now? I wanted to... Maybe I just have to re-record the video update later. Anyway. At least as the stream broke, we did get another drop that just gave me an entry into that long, so that was kind of nice. Cool. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-record the video. Maybe I should make more of like a proper like full overview thing again, and just spend a bit more time doing that video content. Make a real good one that can get lots of views rather than just the stream. Anyway, I'm just talking to myself again here. We'll give it a few minutes just for people to join back in. I might just sit down now. You know, stupid stream failing ruined my flow. I'm gonna go sit down mode. Desk failed. Down. There you go. Coolio. Oh my gosh, I feel low. There we go. I'm a bit higher now. Yeah. That's it. Right. Sit down mode enabled. Try anchored VWAP from last summer lows. Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. Because we do have the anchored VWAP from here. Yeah. But a 365-day rolling VWAP is a biggie. There you go. Last summer lows. I was also looking to see if we were anywhere near this one, and we are. So I mean, we're massive support. It goes without saying. I think we're now at the line in the sand that has been tested. Obviously, we had a nice reaction from the lows previously. We thought that could be it, and we could be front running some of these levels, but at that line in the sand now for sure. For sure. This is where we got to get back inside. Okay. Yeah, I think that was really clear. The update on this. Is there anything else you want to look at? I mean, I don't even think it's really necessary to look at altcoins, because you could just like buy anything right now. Clearly the plan that we had previously for alts didn't play out. Actually, no, there's something else that I want to go over. Is the reason for, because I actually had a call last week, and I was going to update the crew about this, and it just got a bit mental. This was on, I think it must have been on the Friday or something, and I had a bunch of meetings I had a call with Hostile Power, and he was asking about a lot of my altcoin positions. And I don't remember if he's here or if he remembers, but I told him I just didn't update the crew about this. I was like, I just closed out of everything now because I just feel really like this was when we were just starting to drop. Yeah, this was where it was. I think we were about here, weren't we? We had the where was it? We had the bounce last week. Here. Yeah, we had that bounce last week, which was a really nice thing. I'm going to go back to a more normal chart. Let me just show this. Oh, this is my normal chart. Okay. We had that bounce last week, and it was looking pretty good. Okay. We'd had that really good recovery. And I hedged my short. I compounded my short position at this point. And I did inform everyone in the crew about that when we had that bounce that happened late at night. I was like, okay, I am hedging again here. I am compounding that short position again here because I don't think we're necessarily out of the woods yet. And we were on a call, yeah, it was on that Friday around New York Open, and watching this come down, it was like, yeah, just the weakness that we're just seeing here was like, this is absolutely, yeah, we're kind of fucked. And we've seen what happened at that point. So I think, I was on a call and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just closing everything. And he was like, yeah, I better do the same. And it turns out that was probably a good decision. I got burnt on one account from this drop, and that was just an account that I was just almost using as like play Monopoly money, which is frustrating still, but. Yeah, so essentially, the thing with last week was we had this range, okay? What was price doing last week? And this is where you've got to be able to flip bias really, really, really quickly, okay? And you've got to be able to react to the information as it's coming in. What happened? All right, we had this move down. This was at the beginning of the month. All right. We came down, we tested what was at that stage the previous month open. Okay. We had a really decent bounce off of that after taking liquidity, and it was looking really good. Okay. It was looking good. So I was like, okay, that now becomes the invalidation for any long positions that we're looking at right now. Now the following day, okay, we had this open up and we just had these just continuous candles. We just dropped below that monthly open, could not get back above, could not get back above, could not get back above. And then as soon as New York started, and then we started to see all of this FUD coming out again. And this is when I think the first little bit of contagion that we saw from the Japan situation with, there is no Japan situation, it's just silly. And then some other FUD that was coming out, the loss of the POC, not being able to get back above it. Okay, it caused this cascade down. And I know it was a bit of a silly tweet, but there is a reason why I tweet these silly tweets, because it's the best way that I can explain essentially like what is going on in the market. I'm just trying to find it here. So this was the chart that I shared. No, that's not it. But basically what we were looking at was any loss of these lows that we put in down here was basically just water slide down, and it's all over from that point again. Yeah. And that is precisely what we saw. All right, it just completely, as soon as you start to lose those levels and as soon as you start to come down here, just accept that. And I speak about this often, right? What you do with gap theory and with imbalances and all of this stuff, you either tap it and get continuation of the trend that you're in, or it becomes acceptance of what was going on previously, and then you're looking for like that bigger move. And that is what we have seen with, okay, the gaps that we had formed here. There was the CME gap. There was all of this kind of stuff that we were talking about. And we'd said this on stream, like, you just do not want to be going in and like testing into those zones. So we had that drop on the Thursday, Friday. Okay. you tested back into imbalance, but as soon as you start messing around with a gap here, what happens is that's acceptance of what was going on previously. Okay, that's acceptance back to that move, and then you're going to trade through it because clearly that move was not done at that stage. So you either get a breakaway gap where it's just not even dealt with at all, ever potentially, or you get a situation where you gain acceptance back inside. That means that that move was not finished, and therefore you end up with lower prices. So it's one of those situations. I think it's just having the ability to react really fast. I noticed the weakness very quickly. I was on the call when we saw that weakness, and then I just had a bunch of meetings, but I probably didn't react to it as well as I could have done with my own positioning, which is why I woke up yesterday and I was kind of pissed off with myself because it's so obvious. It was just so obvious. As soon as you start to lose that support, I was like, it is over, it is done. But that's it. That's kind of trading, isn't it? Now the good thing is we've built up so much liquidity up here that this is going to get taken. Still very, very confident about that. Is this going to be the low? We'll wait and see. But what I do know is we are still going to be going high. I'm just talking random shit right now. I don't even know what I'm saying. Hey Luke, similar to April 2021, could we drop again for a large percentage after a big drop? What would the telltale be? April 2021. Let's go back to the Coinbase chart. April 21. This. What? So you're thinking about like the possibility of us being. I mean, essentially, we've just had this candle, right? Because you've. Where would you be? It's a very different range. Okay. This was clearly distribution because what were you doing? Like you were making highs and forming divergence. We haven't had that at all this time. Okay, so you clearly had distribution there, and then you made a lower high, and then you came down. That's not what this is. This isn't distribution. What we're seeing now, all right? It just very, very clearly isn't. It's a very different phase in the market. We're not coming into this off of having a parabolic uptrend. All right, there was a little one. Okay, we had an initial move up, right? That was coming out of the bear market. Now the thing is, we've got to remember is, of course, that went a lot higher than we would have expected, which was because of I think a lot of the ETF hype and everything that was going on around that. But this is not reminiscent of any kind of distribution that you would usually expect to see within the market. The only bit that was reminiscent of a distribution is these three spikes towards the highs here, which got corrected very early on. Okay. And then we dropped into a range. So I don't see similarities to 2021 here. Not to where we are at this stage. I see it's almost like flipped, isn't it? So, and if we actually look at the move down that we've had, that's now a 33% correction. I know it went lower last time, but a 33% correction is huge. So it's kind of similar to more like this one, where you have a high, lower high, lower high, and you just keep taking those lows and just flagging. And then, of course, continuation afterwards, which is what we're looking for to happen next. But it's very, very long and drawn out this time. What is your opinion on testing the 42k area, which is the cycle low anchored VWAP, and also 618 from area from last summer low, wave 3? I mean, all of these things are possible, right? Now that it has started to work, because previously, okay, we were working with this area. All right, that was the impulse that was being corrected. Now I mean, yes, okay, it's only wicked into it. Now that's like I say, it's a good thing. All right, wicking into a gap, fine. All right, acceptance within it. So what we would look for if 42k is going to happen. All right, now probably isn't the time to be looking at that, but it would be if we start to gain acceptance inside here. So if we see candles closing below 50k, all right, at that point, you know it's almost inevitable that it runs through. And then for me, the way that I trade it is that you trade. I've been going over this in like every single stream. So the way that I will trade a gap's there, okay? Price comes down into it. You either long the tap, okay, or you short all the way through and out the other end. You don't mess around with shit when it's at the bottom of that gap. You just don't do it. It does not make sense to me. It does not have a high win rate when you do that. So, and I guess we've had that. It's kind of demonstrated this right here, because you fill this one. What happens? You trade through it into the next one. So if there is to be acceptance below that 50k to 48k, I don't think I'd be looking to bid 42. I do think then it's like we'd have to accept that this is bear market and we're probably looking at 30s, which is why I just think it's really, really unlikely. So from this point here, we'll see what happens. But that seems to me, again, I think that's kind of crazy. But yeah, I guess there is reason for it. So 42k is also cycle value area high. If we look at it from, let's say, all right, when this really started to kick off, look at the year. So this is where this hit yesterday is actually the value area high of what I would consider this cycle on Coinbase. Man, the confluence is really stacking up here. So that is value area high. Literally exactly where we hit. I hadn't drawn that previously. So that was from 1st of January 2023 to where we are now. Tap the value area high. Now, if we go from 1st of January 2023, which again, in my opinion, is when we started the cycle. If we go lower, then yes, that anchored VWAP will be around 42k if that goes down there. Where's your VWAP bands? Okay, you're starting to get a little bit. What you want to see is this get out of that band quite quickly. If we are truly seeing expansion here, then we do want to see us get outside of that first standard deviation and see that continuation higher. But yeah, what I really like about this is the fact that we've hit that rolling yearly VWAP, rolling yearly moving average, value area high of the previous range. We've traded through and out the other side of the impulse that we created previously. We traded through and out the other side of the CME gap. So that means people trying to trade the CME gap will have been wrecked. We tested the ETF launch day. Yeah, it's all stacking up. All stacking up. If we fill the wick this week, then we can't close the weekly candle within the range. So further move down next 3 to 4 days would be very bearish. Yeah. Yeah, I do think that we've probably got to see this pushing on a little bit higher. That's why, like right now, just purely just seeing if this can get a move up towards those Monday highs and then have a range from there. It's a little bit hidden alpha. Oh, this 365 15 minute. Moving average. Kind of nice confluence if it goes up there. Right. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up this stream. I need to re-record this video and do maybe a proper video. Just on the market in general. Is that going to be useful? I don't even know. Still kind of bored within this market. Boring. How would PA look in your opinion in order to fill the wick and close weekly above 53k area? Yeah, this is why I need to record another video because I've covered this. I covered this earlier. Yeah, that's and I also updated this within the crew. I think just two things I really want to see. Like, yeah, we closed the day above those previous lows, which were here. And now I think we just got to see that roll over onto the weekly now as well. And I would like to see a push, a bounce back to take Monday highs to test that 58 to 60k level. And at that point, I'd look for shorts again. So the ideal price action for me is it would just be very simply come up, take those Monday highs, look for shorts, and see if it can find support back down here again. And then we kind of trading within this little range for a while. But we don't know what's going to happen. That's just like something that, yeah, that's what I would seek to trade. So those are the levels I've marked out. What's the current song name and artist? I have no idea. It's just a streaming playlist of random music. Of copyright-free music. Okay, yeah, I am going to call it there. I got some content I want to do. There's also quite an exciting announcement coming up. So, just if you guys are around on Friday, you know I had a meeting with a certain popular trader who has a very big neck. So I had a good meeting with him on Friday. There will be announcements coming up about stuff that we're working on, which is kind of cool. So that's exciting. Even if I'm not really, haven't been so infused. Not BitBoy, not BitBoy. Like a legit, like good trader. Yeah. So that's cool. That's good. There'll be an announcement in due course about that. Does he live in Colombia? No. Knight has it. It was with Trader Main. No, but yeah, we should get Jason. I've got to arrange. The thing is, the market's so just dull. There's just no point in like doing collaborative streams right now because look, this the state of these streams. Honestly, I am so it's such a struggle just doing this job. Just like getting no engagement, like having just everything's just quiet and no one's really trading and the market's just crap. And if I wasn't doing this, I'd be much happier just going on holiday, sitting out the market, and just doing that kind of thing because it's just very like, it's just draining. It's been so draining. And I try and keep positive about it. But honestly, it's just fucking stressful sometimes. Bro, just trade the NQ. Thing is, I don't trade well with that kind of trading if I'm just feeling a bit like stressed about shit in general. And that's why I have been yeah, not trading that as much recently. I have priorities, and trading the NASDAQ is low on my list of priorities. If I'm trading the NASDAQ, then I will not be working. So I have two choices. I either just trade the NQ and I don't do these streams, and I'll make way more money doing it, because when I'm locked in and I'm trading the NASDAQ, I'm locked in. Or I do these streams and I'm in that frame of mind, and in which case I keep myself away from trading the NASDAQ, because I cannot do both. I cannot do both. So I like every day I fight with these decisions. I'm like, am I going to lock in and trade? In which case I don't want to be like speaking to anyone. I just don't want to talk to anyone, and I don't want to like interact, and I don't want to share ideas. Or do I be the analyst? Do I help, and do I do these streams? So that's that. Selfish plug to the stream. Yeah. The other thing is, I'm not going to be able to trade New York anymore. So I have to, I mean, what time would that be where I'm going to be for like the future? I'm going to be 6 hours ahead of the UK. Like, the thing is, if I trade New York, I'm going to be, I mean, it might be quite nice to do on the odd evening. But the time where I'm going to be, clock, when New York opens, which is, yeah, it's going to be like late at night. So I'm not going to be trading late at night often. I'll trade the daily open often, which actually is why maybe I want to focus a bit more on crypto, because I'll be around for the daily open. What happens with legacy markets, nothing happens on the daily open, on the Asia opens over there. I mean, well, it kind of did yesterday because we had the Japan stuff kicking off. And maybe I'd look to trade that a little bit more. Do we have CME futures of the Japanese market or anything like that? I don't even know. I don't even know what I can trade when I'm over there. No, we won't have CME futures. No, what am I talking about? We're not going to have CME futures of the Japanese market. I'm talking nonsense. It's an American thing. Yeah. But yeah, I won't be trading New York very often, so I'm not going to be trading the NASDAQ that often. I can't spread myself too thin. That's what I've been doing recently. I've been spreading myself way too thin. So I have choices that I need to make, and that's whether I focus on the crypto stuff, even though that's kind of dull right now, but I still think a focus on it. Trade NASDAQ, trade the NQ from time to time, and maybe just do what I want to do is figure out like a time that works for me when I'm away, that suits the kind of trading that I want to do, and maybe just do 30 minutes to an hour, like 1 or 2 trades per day on the NQ, and just kind of lock in for that hour or so. I'd say probably the hour before New York Open is when we tend to get really nice price action on non-news days, or trade the initial balance and then just call it a day every time that happens. But I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know. My trading's got to change, but I don't know how that's going to change until I'm in a different time zone and I realize how that's going to look in the future. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'll be keeping up with making content and stuff. But I also need to different style of content. There will be a different style of content. And there will be, the streams may not be as scheduled. But we'll see. We'll see. Luke, Tesla is below 200 again. Buy, buy, buy. Ooh. Got no money left to buy. No, I made my Tesla purchase at 180 and I'm sticking to those. Sticking to those. I would have had a good opportunity to compound, but because I haven't taken profit, then I'm just sticking with what I got. Thing is, Tesla long run, I'm not concerned about. It could go to like, it could go to $60. I'd still hold the stock. Actually, maybe that's a lie. That's probably a lie, isn't it? I think Tesla in the long run's fine. So, yeah. Okay, all right. I'm gonna wrap it up. Tired. All right. I will see you all very soon.